All right, guys, we're here with a special edition today. Got to talk about these dang eye pokes. Ryan Diaz, you're joining me here. You ever been poked in the eye and had to fight?
Yep. I've
How
been
was it?
kicked in the groin too as well. Like you just
Yeah,
gotta fight through it. Like I think it's more about just the mentality. Like you know who I think about all the time when it comes to diversity and fighting is Benson. Like you
yeah.
think about Benson, like you poke
You
him in the
mean
eye,
adversity in
adversity.
fighting?
Sorry,
Yeah.
adversity. Yes. Like you just like if you want to win that bad, you gotta go. But also at the
Yeah.
same time that if it's really, really bad and you can't see, then okay, now that's a different story. Like if
Well,
it's pure black.
yeah. The thing is this, look, if it's against the rules, it's against the rules. Like it has to be a foul. I think we got so we're talking, to start with, we're talking about Cyril Gahn and Tom Aspinall, right?
Yes.
Championship fight, heavyweight fight. Tom's been on the shelf for 7,000 years, waiting for John Jones. And then Cyril Gahn comes out. It's a good fight. Cyril's doing a great job and pokes him in both eyes. Pretty good poke. Um, so the argument is fighters have been coming out on both sides of the thing. Oh man, you can't see, you can't fight. If you should fight through it. My opinion is that you have to. The referees have to be responsible for the thing. I love the referees. Like I almost every UFC referee, I'm good with. I know they're going to do their best to keep us safe. They have a strong opinion on what to do. I love that. They need to be confident. I think though that they face a lot of backlash on social media, and in the arena, the fans are yelling and screaming and acting crazy. I felt like Dan Mergliotta the other night felt a lot of pressure with Kevin Holland. A lot. I know that's a groin shot. We'll go there too, but I felt like Jason Herzog did the right thing. He acted decisively. He called the thing when Aspinall said he couldn't see, and that's the right thing. So how bad are you hurt? That's, I think, to your point, Ryan.
Well, that's the thing is, and then how can you tell somebody how hard they're hurt? And then how can you tell? You can't.
You
You
can't.
can't. You
Uh,
can't even tell if somebody faked it. If
no,
they're faking their hurt, you can't.
no. I mean, some guys are going to play it up, but for the most part, you're in there to win. Tom Aspinall was not there to try to get out of the fucking fight.
See, that's a big
He
argument that people have is that he was losing, and he's like, okay, hey, this is my out now. You know?
no, I think that's total utter bullshit. I mean, come on, man. That guy's been in there with these dangerous heavyweights. He's done a great job, and his history, to question that on him, I think it's more just trying to get attention on the internet. People playing like the Chael Sonnen card. I'm gonna make people notice me. I hate that. The fact that we don't have any understanding or sympathy, I guess, empathy for the guy, what he's going through there. I mean, you've been in the ring, Ryan. I haven't. I've been poked in training, in jiu-jitsu. I've thumbed myself in the eye in boxing. It's terrible. But none of those were serious. Have you ever had an episode where you were poked in the eye and you couldn't continue?
I even had a like. There was a couple times where I've had it where I couldn't I couldn't see, but I still fought through it. Like I don't know. I came from a different era, I guess, because when we fought back then, we didn't really worry about our losses and our wins and our record. So we just kept fighting. Like it was a different time, but I can see the argument on both sides. And then there is a part where you start thinking in your head where you get poked in the eye. Now you got to think now, if I continue, am I going to be that
Compromised.
yes, compromise.
Yeah.
And now, or like, is it really going to make that difference? And then you start thinking in your head, now, should I not fight because I want to make sure like this is an important fight that I got to be 100%. I got to fight this guy 100%. Or now there's another thing where as you start, okay, hey, you know what? I want this badly where I'm going to keep going. I'm going to fight through this adversity, So
Well, we
like,
love that. And fighters, that's a weird place to put a fighter. So let's talk about groin shots just for a minute. Um, you know, that is one that the crowd boos on too. But like, there's been people literally have their testicle be ruptured and the crowd's booing them
well,
as they're going out.
the greatest
You know,
example was that last fight in the UFC Vancouver. Like
yeah,
that was not like I really believe that was not fair. You take away point from Drew Dober, but you don't take away a point from Mike Mallet. Like, what did
Yeah.
you think on that one?
I I think that that was a case of Dan Mergliotta, who I think is a really good ref. I love the guy, but he felt the pressure of the situation. I think, I'm going to talk to him about that when I see him, and I don't mean it in a bad way. Like, he feels a responsibility to the crowd and to the people that watch the fight and to the fighters themselves to keep the thing going, because we'd all like to think that we'd fight through adversity. Oh, no matter what, I'm fighting till the end. But like, Kevin Holland is not a guy to pull out of a fight. Like, he's not going to stop fighting. The dude fights 17 times a year. I mean, he fights every time he gets a chance. He's winning that fight. He's
Yes.
obviously compromised. Dan asked him how many times, and the fact that Kevin didn't answer him, he should have called the fight. The fighter, if you're not answering, that's a no. I'm not ready.
So here's another
Now,
question, because you know Kevin Holland, what kind of person he is, and you take that into consideration that you know he's maybe playing it up, like maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but there's this possibility he's playing it up. So then Dan Murgliata is like, okay, he's just playing. Like I'm gonna make him
and
keep
that
fighting.
brings in the human part nature of it, right? How do you know? How do you know the guy's not faking it? For me, Kevin Holland wasn't faking it. I've seen him play his antics. I don't know the guy personally. He wasn't trying to get out of the fight. I think he just wins that fight. And
Yeah.
and the very least, it should have been a point. It has to be a
Yes.
point. He was visibly compromised.
And
He
this is
took all
it
five
was the
minutes.
second one. It
A
wasn't the
hundred
first
percent.
time too. And then
100%.
you look at Drew Dober. Drew Dober hit him one time. Now here's another question. Do you think maybe it was affected because it was in Canada? Like Drew Dober was fighting a Canadian. Then Mike Mallet was Canadian.
Well, you can't deny. I mean, people are affected by crowds. It's just psychology. You want not to be, but if you try so hard not to be affected, then you're anti that, right? Like, you
Yeah.
jump to the other side. The refs have a thankless job, a completely hard job that nobody can do perfectly. Nobody.
Well,
But I think this. So I think it was obvious that Propolek was kind of winning that fight. Like, he was starting to pull away. It was one round to
yes.
one. He was winning the third. Dober kicked him in the balls. I don't think it was on purpose. I like Drew Dober. He's great. But he was tired. He was worn out. And that 5 minutes, it didn't benefit Prepolek. He didn't come back stronger. He came back worse. So that point didn't matter. And Drew went crazy and TKO'd him. Good for
Well,
Drew. But that break helped Dober more than it
yes.
helped Prepolek.
Well, and then also he even talked about it too after the fight. It's like you know you got a point taken away, and you know the fight's like 1-1. You know you
Yeah.
got to finish this. Like you're not gonna win if you just barely win the round. The only way you're gonna win now is a knockout. So he went out for the knockout and he got it.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
kind of helped him.
And I mean, good for him, but I think that rest helped him. I think if they just continue, if Prepolek can keep going, they take the point. I think Prepolek wins the fight, in my opinion. Maybe Dober does his thing, but it's just a really hard situation, and there's no perfect answer. Going back to the eye pokes, I'm a big uh, advocate for getting on eye pokes. They change fights every time. You can't fight the same if you
Yes.
can't see. It's just a fact. So you can fight with courage and you can fight with guts, but you're not going to fight necessarily like you wanted to fight because you're compromised. Um,
Who who was the
we
fighter
fought
we're
Imavov, right?
that's
Imavov,
the one. That's who we're talking
he
about. Yeah.
pokes every single person he ever fights in the eye. And that's
Hmm.
a fact. He does it every fight. And he's long. He keeps his fingers out straight. As soon as you go towards him, he stabs his hand out straight. And we had talked about, I've had conversation after conversation with Jason Herzog on this.
Hmm.
And I talked to him before the fight. I'm like, hey, this has got to be his warning. He is going to stick us in the eye. It's going to change the fight. And he needs to have a point taken away. And it wasn't taken away. And he gets away with it in every single fight. So I think at some point, it's the referee got to decide. But they don't want to be in the middle of the fight either. Like,
Yeah.
the last thing you want is for the ref to decide the fight. But
But you
I
said
think,
it the best. You said they should be consistent. Like it should just
yeah,
be a consistent thing. If there's an eye poke, automatic. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You know, a choice. Like if you got two eye pokes, should be automatic or something. You know
But
what?
aren't there
Just some
degrees in there
consistency.
too? Because some of the worst painful eye pokes are scrapes. They
Yes.
don't look like anything. I remember I got a piece of sand in my eye once, and it scraped my cornea, and I couldn't see, and it was nothing. I didn't even know something was in there. So sometimes, like a fingernail or a glove will go across your eye, and
Mhm.
it's worse than the actual eye poke.
Well,
So that it's hard. I think the it's hard to judge the degree of severity. It's hard to judge the degree of toughness of the opponent. It's hard to judge how affected they are. Like, hey, he's really hurt. But I agree with you. It has to just be, hey, you poked him in the eye. That's a point off. Have you heard Jim Miller talk about this?
no.
He's like he never poked anybody in the eye in his whole career, ever. And he's very outspoken in a good way about, hey, you need to train with your freaking hands closed and you won't poke people in the eye. I couldn't agree more. You know, I love John Jones. He's the best ever in my mind. No question, he's the GOAT. And I think it'll be hard for anybody to ever get there. But him stretching his long arm out there with those long fingers and sticking everybody in the eye, that's illegal. It's either a foul or it is not a foul, right?
Okay, then do we start talking about the glove again? Like I know the UFC
You have to.
tried it, but let's be
You have
honest.
to.
Number one, like new glove, the glove that they tried wasn't really that much different. And number two, it was a lot softer, and that's why they switched back to the old one. Like they have those gloves, like there's so many. They talk about the Pride gloves, the old Pride gloves. Like they curve your hand like this.
Yeah.
But now does that affect the grappler who can't open their hand to grapple? Like, so
I don't think it does if you give a good natural curve. I've felt those. I mean, the stretching is more as a distraction in front of the face, I think. Like, and it's a good technique, but it results in you stabbing people in the eye. So Don House, who's one of the cut men for the UFC, he showed me a prototype of his gloves, and it has a little on the palm. It has a string, and it pulls the fingers in, and it's awesome. The new gloves the UFC made were terrible. They didn't address the curve of the fingers at all,
no,
and
none.
they felt weird, and they were like padded in weird places. Like it was
Yes.
I don't know what that was, but they need to be talking to the cut men and the people that are in the sport to design a glove that'll help with that.
Well, like
Because
curve it. Yeah. If your hand's
yeah,
curved like
why
that.
not? The old Pride ones were like that, and that was kind of before I did MMA, so I haven't seen one of those like in person.
Oh, I got
But I
one. I gotta
remember
show you.
I've seen that giant one that you have. Like it's big and it looks like a tiger paw almost, you know. Um, but I something's got to be done. I think it should be done on multiple levels. Referees taking more responsibility for changing the score if you need to, for calling the fight if people aren't responding, and just they're in charge in there, so they have to be in charge in there. And that sucks for them. Like that's the last thing they want is that spotlight because somebody's going to complain either way. Like, did you hear Dana White talking about it the other day?
No, what
Boy,
did
he's
he say?
throwing Aspinall under the bus in a terrible way. If you can't see, you shouldn't be fighting. If you didn't pass the eye test to go to the fight, you wouldn't have been cleared to fight. For sure, you can't pass the eye test when
Yeah.
you get poked in the eye, right?
Yeah.
Agreed?
Well,
So,
100%. Like you said it the best. It doesn't take anything. Like I've had it happen to me where I've scratched my cornea, and when you like scratch it, like it's terrible pain. But not only that, you see double, and like they're
yeah.
making fun of I guess John Jones even went to some event on a horse and was wearing an eye patch or something and trying to make fun of Tom Aspinall. Like
See,
it
when I saw that, I was like, God dang, John Jones is going to have a heyday with this one, like which whatever. Everybody has their own social media game, and they want to say this and say that. Um, the referees have to take the first responsibility, right?
hmm
And if the guy's compromised, you have to watch out for them. If they've taken away their ability to effectively compete, then you can't do that. Like if it's cheating, it's cheating. It doesn't matter. I heard them. I don't remember if they were talking about the groin shots or the eye poke. I think it was the groin shot, the Kevin Holland one. Oh, it was accidental. How does that matter? Like
Yeah.
if you're in football and you're diving for a tackle and you accidentally grab the face mask, you don't get
Yeah.
penalized less because you didn't mean to. It's a penalty.
Yeah.
Like if it's illegal to kick you in the groin, it's illegal and it needs to be dealt with, you know. But I think that it has to start with the referees, you know, and that has to be, and they have to be given power to do that. And they don't feel, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't even want to you know, I decide the fight at a championship fight, like Tom Aspinall's fight. Oh, take a point, and he ends up winning by that point. God, people are going to be roasting you for a lifetime. So I think it has to start with them, just empowering them. Like Jason Herzog, when he stopped that fight, that was the right thing to do. What were we going to say?
Well, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like it's his, like he has to make that choice now, and which he did. And that's why, like, even you were talking about Dan Miragliotta, he should have made the choice to stop the fight with Kevin Holland or take a point away. You can't just you can't let that keep
Yeah.
going like that.
Very least, it should have been a point. That should have been a
Yes.
draw, right? Because
Yes.
Kevin was handily winning that fight. So it would
Yes,
have been
and it
10-8
happened
first round.
twice. It
Yeah.
wasn't just once.
Yeah.
And then
And Kevin's lack of response to Dan has to go, you know what? He's not ready. Like, we got
or
to
call the
this
fight off. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He should have
Yeah.
called. In my opinion, I wasn't there, you know, and I like Dan. He's a good referee. He has tons of experience. So it is not a throw him under the bus kind of thing. But that fight should have been stopped, in my
I think
opinion.
I hate to say it, but I think he took Kevin Holland's personality a bit and his antics into his decision making. Because I
I
bet you
think
if
he
someone
felt
else
the
did that,
pressure of the night. I think he felt the pressure like, man, I can't be the guy that stops this fight. You know, the crowd wants to see it. The UFC wants to see it. And I feel like refs feel that. And of course they do. They're human beings. I don't blame him for it being hard, you know, and it's easy to look back and judge it now. It would be hard to be in that ring in his shoes and make the call. So it's very easy for us to sit here and go, hey, this should have happened. So I have a great empathy for those guys. But it has to be talked about in a more detailed basis because it's happening all the time now. And I think the points need to happen.
well,
Or
you
the
know
fight
what?
needs to
It's
stop.
just something funny to say. Like I remember when I fought. Okay, if someone kicked me in the nuts, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna kick you back in the nuts.
Yeah.
What do you think of
Let's
that?
get
Like,
one.
hey, you poke me in the eye, let's poke you back in the eye. Let's just make it even now.
Well, and they're like, oh, it's a warning for sure. It shouldn't be for some people. Like for Imavov, he has a
Imavov,
history
yeah.
of it. He whispers at your eye. That's a point. Done. Start practicing with your freaking hands closed, you know?
Yes.
So whatever. I feel terrible for the guys affected by it, you know, because as those competitors, those athletes, they just want to compete and do their best. And you can't do that if you're compromised.
So what do you think is the best solution then? It's obviously refs and then fix the gloves and train
Yeah, fix the
with
gloves,
hands.
and the fighters have to take responsibility too. Close your hands. You know, if your fingers are open and you stab somebody, you're getting a point taken off. That's a wrap. So I think it starts with the gloves. Like they should try to remedy that from the top down, right?
Yeah.
The gloves have to change so people can't straighten out their fingers as easily. Then we got to empower the referees so they don't feel like Dana's going to the press conference and rip their asses for not doing the right thing. They have to do what they feel is right. You got to give them that power. And then third, and maybe most important, the fighters need to train with their hands closed, like Jim Miller was talking about. Stop sticking your fingers out because you know it's illegal. But if you know you can get away with it,
Yeah.
like
And they're gonna keep training
Imavov,
like that. Yeah.
why change it? Might as well just keep doing it. So anyway, that's a hot topic nowadays. What do you think, right? You like those ideas? Like,
Oh, no, I love
how do
the
you think it
ideas.
fixes?
Like
Yeah.
I always say, you're the smartest. Like you've been around this game for a long time. Like you've seen it. How many fighters have you coached that had that happen to them?
Well, and the percentage of people that lose fights after an eye poke is super high. It's like I saw a number, it was like 85% or something. I don't know the depth of the study. I don't know the legitimacy of it, but it sounds right to me. If you get poked in the eye, you can't fight as well, and you're going to probably lose the fight.
Yeah.
So that's not fair. So that's it. Don't poke people in the eye. Don't kick them in the dick. Like, let's keep this thing clean. Or let's make it all legal and just do it in the back alley. And Dana White would probably love it. It'll be right next to slap then. So, all right, Ryan Diaz, thanks for joining me,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I appreciate it. You guys, we'll see you next time.
Bring the band in.